Hello Final Fantasy XI players, Quetch here. First of all, I'd like to say Happy New Year to everybody. Secondly, I only have a couple things to cover today because the patch notes for January are not out yet, but we have the New Year's event going on, and I want to make sure that you're capitalizing on that, as well as a really interesting letter from the devs. Now, this is retail we're talking today. Some of you may have noticed that I've been playing a lot of Horizon XI on this channel as well, and super enjoying that private server. It's my first time hopping into any private server, and it's been a great time. Highly recommend it if you're just looking for some old school experience or you just really like that era. But for the retail players, we have an incredible looking month lined up, I think. Now, of course, like I said, we don't have the patch notes yet, but this letter gives a couple of hints as to what's coming. Not only that, we're going to take a look at the campaigns for this month, which are nice as well. So yeah, we'll get to the letter soon, but first let's cover next month's campaigns. Okay, so starting on the 11th, meaning we'll probably get our update on the 10th, as is usual, we have Nizal Uncharted Area Mysterious Item Campaign. So this is NNI, one of my favorite events to do. This is where you get question mark items from any NMs you defeat while doing Nizal Isle. Those items can be appraised into things like EPAM ring, now also the Srata items, Srata belt, Srata neck, Srata ring, and of course Orpheus sash and pulse weapons. It's just a lot of fun to do. You try to push your luck, and you'll also walk out with a lot of Zenny NM pop items as well, which saves you Zenny when you're trying to work on a mythic weapon. Super good event, super fun. It's one of my favorite things to be doing in the game. Next we have Bonus Bailed, which they didn't even bother to list what it does, which is kind of interesting. It's as simple as it sounds. You get extra bailed from doing anything that grants it. Double synthesis skill increase. Holy cow. I have never seen this for an entire campaign. This is insane. So it is exactly what it says. The rate of synthesis skill increase will be doubled for the duration of the campaign. I have only ever seen this for those small windows where they do like the enhanced versions of campaigns. Sometimes they'll do like for the first 15 days, 10-15 days of campaigns, it'll be, you know, double EXP, or it'll be like Statue Crusher. And then for like the last 5 days, it'll be like Statue Crusher Plus, right? Normally during those sort of enhanced campaign periods of time, which are usually shorter, is when we get double synthesis skill increase. This is huge. You have the entire month of campaigns, you have double synthesis increase. I hope that's not a typo. And if you ever wanted to get into crafting in retail, this is an insane amount of time to be doing so. Awesome. Very good. Mog Garden campaign, a lot here that is kind of like, items may be harvested in Monster Ring twice per day, different items will wash ashore. However, the following items will be sold in the garden. The beds, so if you're like, especially if you're new to the game and you haven't used your beds to increase your Mog storage capacity, all you gotta do is go to the wiki and look these up. Bronze bed, mahogany bed, noble's bed. If you don't know what exactly those quests are, but essentially putting these in your Mog house starts a quest with your Moogle. And if you do that quest, you get increased storage. However, the big one here is Goblin Stew 880. It's 100k, and it allows you to skip an entire item set for increasing your main inventory. I always like to point this out because if people don't know about it, it basically prevents you from having to locate the items, whether they're on the auction house or not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. And sometimes the total cost of those items is higher than 100k because outside of this campaign, people are wanting to start the game up and increase their inventory. So those items often go for a small premium. Plus it's just single. You just trade the Goblin Stew to the goblin that increases your inventory size and it's done. Easy. If you don't know where your Mog Garden is, that's going to be in Adeline. You just talk to any person standing outside of your Mog house and say, I want to start a garden. Okay. Wild's Keeper Reeve Plus, we've had this a couple of months, possibly in a row, if not every other month, but I'll explain it again here. You get 4 pinches of HP bailed when completing a Wild's Keeper Reeve. The respawn times are a lot faster. It's just a couple minutes compared to like a couple of hours. So you can just either rotate a couple of Wild's Keeper Reeve NMs or just wait and spam 1 or probably 2 is better. Going back and forth between 2 you're comfortable fighting. But the bail cost is reduced. Great time to make bailed. Also increased bailed campaign. Great time to make HP baileds. This is a good gil spammer, essentially. If you still need items from these mobs, you have the coupons that drop as well, allow you to trade for those. Easy, sort of low level. You, at 99, maybe with a handful of job points, you can be doing this and earning gil and bailed. Double Unity Accolade campaign. Doubles the amount of accolades gained from completing objectives. Of course, Unity accolades are used to spawn Unity wanted mobs. This helps you do that. Also helps you cap weekly for if you're trying to just use those points to buy items to sell on the auction house. Of course, there's a 99k limit. So this will just help you get to that 99k every week as you make gil off of your accolades. Adeline Dial, you can trade these to the mystery box, the goblin box, for various Adeline items such as skirmish stones, mainly skirmish stones, but also air elixirs. In general, I don't recommend players do this. I think it's just going to clog up your inventory, but sometimes you do get lucky and the skirmish stones are worth a little extra. Not a huge one. I just chuck these. Incursion campaign. Incursion is a piece of content where mobs continuously come in waves and get increasingly stronger each wave. They drop chests, and it says one additional item, so you essentially get double the chests. These chests are used for two things. You can get a cape that increases your CP gain by upwards of 50%. 50% is the cap on that cape. If you don't have an incursion capacity point cape, I would recommend doing this event and picking one up. In addition to that, some of the coffers are used to spawn Ryzen Jima NMs for your Aeonic weapon chain. If you're not stocked up on incursion coffers, this campaign is the one to do it. Voidwatch campaign, Guildmaker, big time Guildmaker. Especially if your character is older from the Voidwatch era and you don't know about this, check your currencies. I believe it's in currencies 1. You'll have void stones. Those are used to spawn mobs during Voidwatch. This campaign starts you with max lights. In other words, by trading a Rubicund and a Cobalt cell, just one of each, you can have the maximum possible treasure value from the coffers dropped from Voidwatch. I often do this and get lots of heavy metal plates and the occasional pulse cell from pulse weapon drops. Very good, excellent Guildmaker. Of course, Unity Wanted campaign always comes along with double Unity accolades, but this is what you want to be using them for usually. So this will convert your accolades into Gil in a slightly better way than just selling items, because you get 2 treasure chests from each Unity fight. Also, this is a good time to do things like Tumult Curator to try to get those drops, because the fights are kind of long, and so you get 2 treasure chests instead of 1, giving you an extra shot at getting those items. I know the staff is still very good. The Tatanashi set is mixed, but I completed my set. Obviously, the body drops here, and the body's very strong. In addition to that, you can just pick one that you know you can fight with maybe a couple of friends, and you're all going to get double coffers, and you can open those up for Rima mats and whatnot, and make gil during this campaign as well. HTBF, another gil maker. Dang. There's going to be no shortage of ways to make gil during these campaigns. Of course, you get personal drops of Plutons, Beitetsus, and Riftborn Boulders during this campaign. Spend 10 merits, get a KI, get some people together, because the personal rewards are going to outshine the rewards dropped from the fights anyway. Do these over and over. It's going to make you gil with these Rima mats. All in all, probably the better. If I were to rank these, I'd say Voidwatch is going to make you the most gil, but you need to have Void Stones. HTBFs are better, but you're going to run out of merits at some point and have to go get more. Unity is pretty spammable if you have capped accolades, but also once you run out of accolades, you won't be able to do that. But all in all, there's lots of great ways to be making gil this January. Next, the Dark Matter Arcane Glyptics campaign. I have a video on Dark Matters and what they're used for. I will link that in the card above this video, and definitely check that if you're interested. Essentially, you're going to get 6 free engravements. 12. I think they've permanently made this. This used to be the Plus campaign would give you 12. It'd be Dark Matter Arcane Glyptics Plus for 12. However, it's, I think, at least the last time they did this, if not the time before, it's been 12 and it didn't say Plus. So I think this is the new normal. Just know that you can also get on the 11th, on the update day, if you log in before JP midnight, you will get 12 Arcane Glyptics, and then, so that's 11 a.m. Eastern time. And then once that rolls over, you can get another 12. So on the day of, you can get 24 engravements with Dark Matter. Some of the Dark Matter stuff is dated, but there's definitely a period of time before you're working on things like Sortie or Dynasty, where these Dark Matter augments are going to carry you. For some of us players who've been playing for a lot longer and have done some of the higher tier content, basically we're looking for like Phalanx and Quad Attack. However, still good for a large range of the player base. If you need any items that are augmented with Dark Matter, do not hesitate to shout. People will help you. Go to Ryzen Jima, get a couple pieces of gear, whatever. Definitely make use of DM campaign. Special Dial. Now this is good. SP keys. SP keys can trade to the Gobby box for all sorts of stuff. I myself have seen a number of very good items from the Gobby box with the SP keys. I like this one a lot. You know, log into your alts or whatever, get these keys, stack them up. As something I like to do, I like to stack them up for the duration of the month. At the end of the month, just do like 100 keys. You know, at least you'll feel like on average you've gotten good items, rather than every day being like, all right, I got, you know, arrowheads. Let's NPC these. Dynamis Granules of Time. This affects the old school Dynamis, which is where you farm your base relic armor. This makes it so when you enter Dynamis, you're at full time already. There's definitely players who are, again, I guess, newbie pay attention here, right? So if you're recently back to the game and you still need to farm relic armor, this will just give you the extended duration of time to go do it, and less excuse for not going in and getting those things. Hyper Chocobo Digging. the time to rest between, so this basically maxes your chocobo digging skill in terms of your time between digs. Kind of a meme at this point. It was much better in, say, the era that Horizon is in right now, which is COP era. I don't know. People that want to raise chocobo digging, this is going to give you better skill ups, but well, it's going to give you the chance to get your skill ups faster. But all in all, chocobo digging is kind of dated content. Combat and magic skill increase campaign. Newbie, pay attention. I don't have my stickers for this video. This will allow you to cap your skills faster. Always good to do, especially if you started a new job. It'll save you from having to buy all those books with your sparks. You can just go out and skill up faster during this campaign. Great mix of newer players, middle players, and endgame players in these campaigns. I love this set of campaigns. And actually, we're not even done. Omen job card campaign. This campaign is great because I, for one, do not like going into Omen and doing all those little objectives, because when you basically math it out, you end up spending, let's say, 20 to 30 more minutes in your Omen run for 1, maybe 2 extra cards, even during this campaign. What I do is I go in during job card campaign and I just kill everything as fast as I can. If we hit an objective, we hit an objective. If not, 15, 20-minute run, and you walk away with 5, 6, or 7 cards. You do that. One campaign can pretty much get you on one job 2 to 3 plus 3 items worth of cards. Very good, especially if you started a new job recently and you really need that artifact gear upgraded. Yeah, I'll genuinely recommend just skipping objectives and doing these and getting them done, right? Otherwise, you're going to spend far longer than you need to in there, and you'll get 1, 2, 3 extra cards. If you just don't miss a KI during the week, you'll make up for the fact that you have been skipping objectives. Yeah, very good. Omen cards, everybody needs them. And lastly is Dynamis Divergent Statue Crusher campaign. For the duration of the campaign, players will earn additional rewards when besting statues in Dynamis D. That is, when you kill statues, they're going to give you a personal item of ID cards, depending upon if you're in Wave 1 or Wave 2. There is no benefit because there are no statues in Wave 3. Really, that's the plus version of this that gives you the most value, because you get full-on Beastman medals and Kindred medals when doing this. Sometimes, however, this is written improperly in the patch notes, and it is the plus version. We won't know until the day of if it's regular or plus. Keep an eye out for that, especially if you're kind of tangentially somebody who does Dynamis D. If plus campaign is around, join those shout groups or whatever. Even if it's NQ campaign, which is what it says here, you will walk out with, I'd say, about 600 to 700K worth of extra items compared to the possible 5, 10 million you would during the plus campaign on a good day. Yeah, so as I was saying, I love this lineup of campaigns. There's something for everybody. There's value everywhere. Very good. Don't miss out. Let's take a look at the New Year's event going on until the 16th. Let's cover that quickly. We'll do that and then move on to the New Year's Eve letter from Director Fujito. Okay, so here I am in Rulud Gardens for the New Year's event going on. Just want to go over this quickly. So Chatroon sells these 2 items for 2023 gil. The knapsack contains Rima weapon mats, Plutons, Beitetsu, stuff like that, as well as this year the new edition of S Astral Detritus. If you don't know, those are pretty valuable. They're used to upgrade your ultimate weapons to rank 15. The Susrune's gift drops the spheres that are used for upgrading crafting shields. In terms of value, these are definitely worth a 2K gil you're going to spend, and over the course of this event, which ends on January 16th, you should definitely buy both of these every day on each character that you can. Also, there's a little bit of a text glitch with these, and I'm going to point that out now. So let's buy the Chatroon's knapsack for 2023 gil. It says done for today on both. But that's actually untrue. You can go ahead and click Susrune's gift and buy as well. So both of these are purchasable once per day. I'll go ahead and open them now quickly so you can see the... Okay, there's a boulder case. That's going to be 5 Riftborn boulders. You get more or less throughout this event. Sometimes you'll get like a Beitetsu box, I think is the higher one. Anyway, you'll get a mix of these mats, like I mentioned before, and then Susrune's gift, you get these spheres. The spheres are also like randomly more or less valuable depending upon the tier of skill chain aspect that they represent. But my piece of advice here is to just hold on to these well past New Year's, because people are going to be putting them up looking for some early gil. I'd give it a couple months, and then you want to be listing them on the AH, unless of course you're using them or saving them for your own crafting shield. But essentially, you know, store these mats and sell them as you get stacks. Definitely worth the 2023 gil you're paying for each bag. The next most valuable thing you can be doing is trading Chatroon 10,000 gil, and that's going to give you a silver voucher. Actually, well, what it gives you is a New Year's pouch and also a silver A-Man voucher. That's for opening up more Trove, of course. This New Year's pouch, however, is not openable by you. You have to trade it to someone else. They're also deboxable, so you can just debox them to a mule and open them there to get your 10,000 gil back. You can put in more than 10,000 gil, but regardless, it's going to give you a silver voucher once you put in 10k. If you put in between 5 and 10, you get a SP Gabi key, but once you put in 10, you get the silver voucher, which is far more valuable. Now, quick note here, it's currently free login campaign. And I mentioned in a previous video a while back now, hey, at some point you should spend the extra money and buy dollar mules on your account. For Mog Bonanza in particular, you usually have a free login campaign around the same time as Mog Bonanza, so you can buy Bonanza Pearls, and then after the free login period is over, you're not going to have access to those mules. However, if you write down the numbers that you've chosen, once the winning numbers are announced, you can just pay $1 and reactivate that character and then go claim your prize. So Mog Bonanza is one good reason to have multiple dollar mules that have been made, right? You make them once, you don't have to ever keep them active, you could just deactivate them after making them. But here's another great example is on New Year's. I can log to my extra mules right now that I have because it's currently free login period, and I can spend 2k gil on each of these pouches and then just send the mats to my main. So if you haven't done that, you still can, I think. I think Chacharoon is accessible even if your character is brand new. I only keep active like 3 or 4 characters on Quetch's account here, and some of the times Mog Bonanza comes around, I've got access to those characters, and they're providing value to me, and I only had to do that payment once. Anyway, so that's the important part. That's the valuable part of this New Year's event. There is more minigames, and the guide to those minigames will be included in the description of this video, but I just wanted to cover where you can get the most value right here. Let's move on to the letter from Fujito. So typically, Matsui is the one who writes these kind of things. But we're going to see, yeah, right here. It says, Happy New Year, Final Fantasy XI players. Director Fujito here. And it says, Matsui-san wants to prepare for the eventual generation shift. So this year, I will be giving our customary New Year's greetings. So a little bit of the passing of the torch from Matsui to Fujito here, which we all kind of felt was coming. Obviously, the two of them have been doing the monthly update stuff, and will likely be stepping into Matsui's role. Well, we'll be stepping into Matsui's role at some point, so let's read on. May 16th, 2020 marked the momentous 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy XI. This year we implemented Sortie, where you can reforge Empyrean equipment, master levels to further grow player power, and continued implementing our latest storyline, the Voracious Resurgence. All excellent. I would say master levels have a sort of slight feeling of being behind on them. However, they're also not needed for much past, I'd say 20, 30 for the kind of like the toppest tier of content, and we can go all the way to 50. So we'll see later in this letter that the master levels might have a little bit more to them as they continue to release content. And then, of course, the Voracious Resurgence has been really fun. It's filling in some interesting backstory and side bits, as well as leading to something really big. And I don't want to spoil any of that here, but I think we'll be seeing it possibly in this next update. He says, I feel that we really rung in FF11's 21st year in style with a variety of content to enjoy. We also celebrated our 20th anniversary years outside the game as well. The We Are Vana'diel promotional site contains stories and messages for people who helped grow the game from its inception, and also features a wide variety of pictures, illustrations, and other visual content that marks the various moments in the game's life. A true repository of historical materials on Final Fantasy XI. Yeah, it's very good. And as the years go on, I really like the effort they put into this project. It's sort of like a historian aspect. We also held crossover promotions with other IPs, something which I personally enjoyed as a fellow adventurer. I'm sure that many people return to Vana'diel just to experience these amazing collaborative events. More recently, we announced new 20th anniversary merchandise this past November. Yeah, I'm not really too into the crossover IPs, that's why I didn't cover them much. But if you came from those other IPs, welcome to Final Fantasy XI. I hope you're having a good time. Yeah, I just really quickly wanted to take a look at this merch if you haven't seen it. There's a crab plushie. Oh, that's so good. There's a Kraken Club, $70. A jacket, Archangel shirt, the Mandragora plushie. I forget which waves of merch these were. This one was obviously announced. The little music boxes were announced during the 20th anniversary. But anyway, a bunch of great stuff was added. Goblin, Shintaro. Anyway, that's the merch. These various initiatives would never have come to pass were it not for the love and hard work of those involved in the various projects, and I remember many of them asking, what can we do to give back to Vana'diel for all that is given us? So that's some of the impetus for why they've made new merch, done interviews with other creators from that time period, done the crossover events. You know, definitely where about 3 years ago, let's say like, you know, like 2019 especially, there was a lot of general feeling in the player base of we're playing a kind of game that's been forgotten by the company that is producing it. Then new content started coming out in 2020 and has been continuously going. Obviously, we had the 20th anniversary in 2022. It's felt a lot more supported lately, which is great. FF11 is truly blessed to have you all. I'd like to take this opportunity to convey my gratitude toward all of our adventurers. Now that a new year is upon us, I'd like to talk a little bit about our future plans. We're finally approaching the conclusion of TVR, the Voracious Resurgence. Many of Vana'diel's secrets are slowly coming to light, and our allies are starting to get to the bottom of things. I hope you enjoy the story's thrilling conclusion. In terms of battle content, Prime weapons will undergo further reforging. I wonder if this is talking about January or not. And we're preparing a new Master Trial to spotlight the power that these weapons bring. We're also looking to adjust our chat filter systems and provide a variety of other updates as well. We'll have some more to share in these and other tasks when the time comes. I just want to comment on this before we finish up the letter. Prime weapons, of course, we all know they're getting further stages. It just is the trajectory we're on. I'm hoping for alliance-based content where somehow farming there increases the power of your weapons. But a new Master Trial is kind of crazy. So if you're not familiar with Master Trials, they have cosmetic rewards only. But at the time they were released, they were very strong and very difficult to do. And I'd say up until the point that Master levels came out, still, you needed to have really competent parties and really prog them, really take your time learning the mechanics and the general flow of the battle, and obviously having proper job choices, job mastery, remas, all that in order to beat them. Master levels, I think, have power crept the older Master Trials. However, there's still a fun fight to do, basically a fun end game fight to challenge yourself with. Every time a Master Trials come out, at the moment that it's released and the current sort of balance of the game, it's been difficult, and I'm really looking forward to a new one. I'm hoping that it's not the only thing that challenges the use of our Prime weapons. I'm hoping for strong content in general, but this is really promising. Additionally, we're looking to adjust our chat filter systems and provide a variety of other updates as well. That's really interesting. They've been doing sort of these system updates for a while now, adding things like assist channel and doing things like removing, you know, being able to set your home point to your Mog house. So every time you walk out, it doesn't ask you to set your home point there. Just lots of little interesting things that have kind of been touching up over time. So I don't know what else they could be possibly thinking of. Time will tell with these things. And they finish with the development and operations teams are looking to make 2023 one to remember, and we pledge to make Vana'diel a more fun and comfortable place to adventure than ever before. We hope you continue to walk with us on this wonderful journey. Very interesting, because I was under the assumption that a lot of the financing and content development was really funneled into the 20th anniversary, which I kind of felt was concluding with the TVR stuff and whatever tier of content that adds. But they're saying 2023 is looking really good. So, okay, other than this, stay tuned for the patch announcement when that comes out. We'll be reading through that. Could be anything this month. I would love to see the Prime Weapon Stage 3. I would love to see the next tier of, you know, content involving that. But yeah, otherwise, I'll see you in the next video, everybody. Have a great time out there. Peace out.